Meant to be educational, informative, entertaining, or all of the above?
I think it's very entertaining, but it's certainly educational and informative. This is an incredibly important story. I've been a journalist for 30 years now, and I think it's one of the most salutary scandals of our lifetime because it impacts on so many important things like the way we treat our children, the limitations of our libel laws, that's what Savile used to silence his victims, and also the cravenness that we have before celebrity. And my initial instinct was to cover this journalistically, but after a long period of reflection, I realised that actually you can sometimes achieve more with a drama than you can with a documentary.
But that's the point, isn't it? Us journalists are still dealing with this story. It hasn't been put to bed yet. So the argument from some, and there have been petitions set up to stop this being put on, is that it's a bit too soon.
Well, the people who started that petition got 200 signatures, and I think they may have given up on it now. The most important people involved in this are the victims and the survivors. And the ones I've spoken to have said, actually, it's not too soon, it's too late. The whole point about this story is that survivors weren't listened to and couldn't get their stories out there for many, many years. So the only issue of timing for the ones that I've spoken to, the only issue for them is, why are you telling our story now when we've been trying to get it out there for 20, 30, in some cases 40 years?
But of course, you know, a good yarn when you see one. You know, us journalists will talk about this. Are you doing it for those reasons, or is there something altruistic here as well?
I think there's a public interest thing in doing it. I mean, I got into journalism to try and, I mean, it sounds a bit pretentious, speak truth unto power and try and investigate why things go wrong. And things obviously went so horrendously wrong with this story. Lots of young people, women and children not being listened to. And the man who was doing it was kind of being feted and made into a knight of the realm. I thought there was a really important public interest thing in just trying to explain the key reason behind it all, which is how we got away with it. And no documentary or current affairs programme that I've seen, and some of them have been very good, none of them have so far yet, for me, satisfactorily answered that question. How on earth did this guy get away with it for so long? And the thing is about drama, or dramatised form of journalism, is that sometimes it can get to places that current affairs cameras cannot get, like the front rooms of houses where fathers aren't believing their daughters. You can't portray that in a documentary. You can portray that very effectively in a play.
The thing is, we know Alison McGann for portraying, well, various characters, and usually for humour. Difficult thing for him to play. And I know his own mother questioned whether or not he should go on stage as Jimmy Savile.
He's a very fine actor, and the uncomfortable truth, I'm afraid, is that Savile was an entertaining and, for some people, quite an amusing person. So any actor who's doing this role, and it's an exciting challenge for any actor, I think, is that you have to portray the supposedly entertaining side, but also the very, very dark side. And Alistair's very good at both of those things, particularly the dark side, because although this play actually is about a woman who was crossed by Savile, obviously Savile is a key character, and you have to portray those two extremes.